Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B. Here on Mind Ed.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.
Good afternoon. You are tuned in to Minded here on Radio Katipunan, your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits. Hi, my name is B. I am just a letter.
I'm Pat. Hi. Good afternoon.
Why are you laughing?
Sabaw mo eh. Parang na-mix up mo yan.
Ako?
But that's fine. The copy is...
The copy is now.
Yeah, okay. It's flexible. Sorry, I'm just... Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Cross-posting now.
Okay.
Hello.
May annotation tayo. Ganda. So,
Oops.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Ayan. Sorry. Akala ko ako nawawala. Parang I can't hear myself.
What's
but okay.
going on?
Sige. I don't know. It must be what's happening. Actually, tanong ko rin yan sa mundo. What's going on?
I know. Okay.
Right? Okay, sige. But
Well,
before that...
That's actually the content of what we're talking about today.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Oh, yeah.
sige. Sana yan. Pero, kumusta muna? So, how are you, B? What's going on in your life?
I'd say slow kasi parang walang, I think some of the offices were also suspended.
Yeah.
Right? Pero in our case, since we don't really have an office, so
Well, the world goes on for you. Okay.
yeah, but I had a lot of meetings then got canceled. So we had to kumbaga either call na lang or talagang really move it to the next next week na lang or ganyan. Pero actually mabagal yung pasok ng linggo. Yeah. Nag-start siya na Sunday 'di ba? Sunday nangyari yun.
Sunday nangyayari yung linggo. Sunday naman nangyayari yung linggo.
Anyway,
Okay.
so Sunday, we were celebrating my dad's birthday kasi.
Okay. Oh, happy birthday.
When it happened. Happy
Yeah.
birthday daw, Dad. And tapos, so we were out. And then parang, papunta na kasi kami nun sa mall when the news broke. So parang di kami handa. Like, no face mask and everything.
Yeah.
Ganyan. So anyway, eventually, naramdaman ko na, okay, medyo makapal nga yung hangin. So totoo
Yeah.
nga, okay, umabot na dito yung ashfall.
Yeah.
Diba? Hindi pa ako naniwala sa news. So anong nangyari? Yun din kasi yung time na I had to buy meds for my asthma, whatnot. And then, yun na, as in, pag pumapasok ko sa drugstores, meron lang nakalagay na no face mask available.
Oh, man.
As
Okay.
in, sabi ko, oh my God, para siyang, sorry Lord, pero para siyang doomsday. Ganun. Yung
yeah.
effect niya, kasi panic
Yeah.
buying daw talaga. As in, the cashier, kinukwento niya, na parang in mga 2 to 3 minutes, biglang nagdagsaan daw yung
Yeah.
mga tao just
Yeah, I
to
can
buy
imagine. Yeah.
the face mask nga yun. So anyway, we just went home and everything. Tapos yun na nga din, suspend na yung class and whatnot, ganyan. So mabagal siya. And then, hindi ko kayang tumingin sa news kasi sobrang, I feel like
Affected.
really affected
True.
about it. Actually,
Yeah.
hindi ko nga matingnan kahit yung nangyari sa Australia with all the fires and whatnot. Kasi hindi ko talaga, parang, oh my God, wag tayo umiyak ngayon, di ba? I just, I can't. So parang, prayers talaga for everyone who got affected. And, before I start crying.
Okay. Okay. So you're there na pala. Okay. Sorry. No, but understandable. I mean, it's definitely like a huge thing that's happened. It's pretty crazy. Right now, I am trying to nurse some form of like a strep throat / cough thing. So I apologize also for the quality of my voice if ever. But crazy week also. The Sunday kind of came in very, very slow, and I was hoping for a relaxed type of Sunday. So
Yeah.
it was weird because I didn't even hear about it. Like after I had heard mass, had lunch, I rested at home a bit with my wife, and then I was gonna go out to go to the gym, and I'm normally not very chatty in the elevator. So pagpasok ko ng elevator, there was a staff from the condo who was saying parang grabe yung grabe yung tahal, ganyan. So parang ako, bakit? This is at like,
Okay.
I think you're at 4.
Okay.
And then, sinabi niya parang, sumabog na kasi. Parang, wow. I didn't even know that. Because in my mind, like, Taal had been dormant for like the longest time. So, I went about my day and not realizing how big the impact actually was. So we proceeded to have dinner at my parents' house.
Right.
And I left the car out for maybe just an hour. And after that 1 hour, napansin ko na talaga it was covered in soot and ash. So it's real. So really, really real. And it's so real that they had to cancel work on the Monday. They were advising really for all the masks, and things just kind of started popping up here and there on social media about yun nga na so I was joking around. I was telling one of my friends na feeling ko after this sobrang dami na volcano experts kasi there's so much education going around about that. And I think one of the more distressing things that I've noticed on social media is all of these. And this is actually something that I noticed with my family as well. Like I was noticing that, a lot of my relatives were, and rightfully so, but a lot of them were, really in this like doomsday kind of mood. And there were lots of like posts on social media, tweets, ganyan, saying how, so this is our 2020. Parang, diba? I mean, fair enough nga, diba? At the start of the year pa lang, we have all sorts of stuff going around. Things like, the bushfires in Australia, the not so civil relations that are happening between, the Middle East and the US. You have this recent thing, the earthquake, also earthquakes, but the eruption of the volcano and so much more. And I was just thinking, parang there's definitely, and sorry, this is also kind of like a theme of some of the what my patients are kind of coming in, because they're saying also like apart from all of these things, some personal stuff are happening to them. So parang yeah, fair enough. But I can't believe, or in my head, I'm just trying to wrap it up in a nice way that there's gotta be more.
Yeah.
That I'm not saying to disregard all of these things that are happening, but there's a way to kind of like take all of these things together while still seeing life as a whole rather than just this this tragic part of it, and again, not in an invalidating and not in a like disregarding kind of way. So I guess that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about how to keep positive, or maybe not even just positive, but just keeping hopeful or oriented towards the bigger picture in the midst of this of calamities, in the midst of all of these negative things. And this is a super broad topic, and it's kind of also sensitive because there's at the risk of like sounding insensitive as we talk about this. So you're my partner here, so if ever may mangyari na I say anything insensitive, call me out on it na lang. But I don't know, what's your take on this, or what's your perspective on this?
Well, like all or most of the natural disasters naman na napagdaanan natin, as a nation, mas na-highlight yung mga hero stories
True.
and the light stories, the resiliency ng Filipinos.
Yeah.
It's, alam mo yun, we're known to be resilient worldwide, I think, or I'd like to believe na ganun. So parang for me, I guess I agree na focus on hope and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then just to add to that,
Sure.
parang hindi tayo magsa-stop dun sa natural disaster. Hindi tayo magsa-stop dun sa conflict at hand. We move past it. We
Yeah.
move forward. But the thing is, syempre, parang ano ba tawag doon? Processing. Kailangan
Oo naman.
kailangan din
Yeah.
natin ng ganun. So I think
Yeah.
that's what we can offer now to our to like our viewers, no. Parang ano ba yung normal na reaction natin, and then how do we usually respond to it,
Okay.
and then do we have control over it, and then how can we like have ourselves in that mindset to still have hope,
Okay.
to still move forward, continue like helping and just be where you are, or how do we move past this, right?
I think one of the first things to acknowledge there is, however it is that you react to this is valid. I mean, the natural or the usual or the common like response to a tragedy is really grief and panic and anxiety, and acknowledging that it's valid means or necessitates this sense of like allowing yourself to really feel it, but also to acknowledge at the same time that feeling your feelings doesn't mean that you are, or kumbaga, your feelings don't dictate how you behave.
Right.
I mean, your feelings are expressed in your behavior for sure, but they don't stop you from doing the next right thing. That's from somewhere.
Playing that song some other time maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, again.
I have an excerpt. Actually, it's a pretty long read. So this is something I want us to kind of unpack also.
Okay.
So this is a post from one of my good friends
Okay.
who will remain unnamed. So he says, when volcanoes erupt and other calamities happen, we're reminded of a brutal fact that humans control so little of our universe. In this age of robots, artificial intelligence, and milk tea pearl shakes in every street corner, we still don't know when a volcano will blow its top. Because of our intelligence, we now control a bigger chunk of our universe. For example, when my great-grandmother wanted to control the temperature at home, she would fan herself like crazy with her abanico and drink copious amounts of water from her tapayan. No idea what that is. But today, I can actually determine the exact temperature I want in my room by the remote control of my air conditioning. Alas, volcanoes and earthquakes, tsunamis, and storms don't have remote controls. Perhaps one day in the year 2359, technology would be so advanced that all volcanoes would have giant thermostats attached to them. Perhaps science will also discover how to detect an earthquake 6 months before they happen so we can prepare. Or perhaps some scientist will find a way to tame a storm and with a touch of his electromagnetic gizmo bring it down from signal number 4 to signal number 1. But even if all that happens, I bet there will always be many things we cannot control. Like when a killer comet will crash land on planet Earth and decimate 75% of our population. Or, oh wait, how about if we send 1 million nuclear warheads toward the comet before it hits Earth? Or maybe I watch too much Hollywood movies. Bottom line, I can't control everything. Shoot, I can't even control a bus from bumping my car in EDSA. I also have 2 teenagers at home. Control isn't their favorite word. So what's my point? I don't have a point. I have 3 points. Facing what we cannot control is, number 1, an invitation to be humble. It forces us to bend our knees and pray and trust. Sometimes, because of our ego, we become arrogant. But when we see magma flowing out of a volcano, it puts us in place. We are so tiny. Which brings us to a related topic when calamities like these happen. Can you control God with your prayer? Some religious people think they can, and that's why there's such a thing as spiritual arrogance, perhaps the worst sin. But God doesn't submit to a formula, or else the formula becomes God. God is God. He sees the future and we don't. And it leads to the second invitation, and it's an invitation to trust. So first one is an invitation to be humble. Second is an invitation to trust. Calamities cause a lot of people to panic. Panic buying, as you've illustrated in your story, panic hoarding, and panic living. I read an Instagram post that asked the question, is this the end of the world? It listed all the volcanoes that are erupting in the world. It's scary. But here's a fact. Seismologists say that in any given day, as many as 10 volcanoes may be spewing ash or lava somewhere on Earth. Read history and you'll realize that calamities have always happened and will continue to happen. Once upon a time, I researched end of the world writings of the past 2,000 years, and as early as the year 100 AD, religious leaders were already predicting that this was it. So I advise everyone to chill. Instead of being preoccupied with these doomsday predictions, I'd rather embrace the fact that I can choke on my own saliva and die 60 seconds from now. So I need to always be spiritually ready to meet God face to face. The other popular thought that floods social media during calamities: we're so bad because God is punishing us. Actually, I saw a post about this too. Like, para, what was it? There was some guy on Facebook who posted na parang, I think he was in Nuvali at that time. Tapos sabi niya, is it a coincidence that right after the Black Nazarene, ganyan, that these things happen, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh my God. So here's my counter belief. God doesn't have to pick up a belt to beat us through a calamity. I've always believed that sin is its own punishment. Our actions, good or bad, brings its own consequences. So one day, evil work will be punished by its own doing. That's why God doesn't want us to sin in the first place. Hear this carefully. God created a universe that has volcanoes, storms, and earthquakes. Why? I have no idea. Honestly, I wish he didn't. But at the end of the day, when I'm faced with something I can't control or understand, my prayer is a declaration that I'm not God, that he is God, and that I trust him, that at the end of the day, a volcano or earthquake or storm or any uncontrollable problem in my life does not have the last say. God has the last say, and it will be good. And finally, it's an invitation to serve. Right after Mount Pinatubo erupted, yes, that person is that old, I flew somewhere, don't remember where. Seated beside him was a man who wept on his shoulder. And he said, I lost my wife and daughter in the Lahar. I'm now all alone. And I tried to pray for him, but I fumbled with my words. And at that moment, beside this man sobbing, all my problems vanished in a blink of an eye. When a calamity strikes, our own little suffering, such as an annoying boss or arthritis pain or boyfriend problems, becomes nothing compared to the massive suffering around us. While we cannot control natural calamities, we control our actions, words, and thoughts. Today, choose to be more selfless and stop making everything revolve around you and your issues and your hurts and your problems. Donate, serve, give, love, because that's what you can control. Okay, so yeah, 3 points: invitation to be humble, invitation to trust, and an invitation to serve. Now, that's not exactly like directly just about being positive, but you know, it definitely is. There are definitely some very eye-opening points there.
And these are action points.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess, is there anything in what this person said that kind of strikes you?
Oh yeah, definitely. The God is not punishing us. No, I don't believe that. I believe that we have a loving God. I
Amen.
mean, His love is so intense. No, hindi niya yun, kumbaga parang it's not His doing, but picking up from what your friend wrote. Yeah. These are natural disasters. Right? It's natural. Kumbaga. And yun if ever, sabihin natin yung iba na tragedies and whatnot, these are consequences. And I don't think God is playing around with humanity, with all the consequences that brought about by our actions, or maybe not. Maybe they're just natural, diba? But yeah, so yun yung talaga nag-strike sa akin na parang God is punishing us. No, He's not a punishing God.
Absolutely.
He is not. What I learned nga in the parang the most part of my 2020 is that while we have our darkness, God stays with us in our darkness. Kung hindi pa tayo ready, or if it's not yet our time to like go and find the light, kasi normally yan ang sinasabi natin, di ba? Hindi, parang it starts with the darkness, like Him coming to you where you are, and then staying with you. So I think ito, sabihin na natin, this is like the darkness that we're all facing. Like God is here. We may or we may not feel Him, But yeah, I'd like to believe that he is here. I know in my heart that he is here, one way or another. Maybe in the eyes of like the reporters or the rescuers who are going to the site,
Yeah.
or it could be like in the words of this friend of yours,
Yeah.
or it can
Of
be
all of us.
in the
Best friend of
music
all of
that
us. Yeah.
the music that we hear, or it can also be like sa family natin that we're enjoying our time with them now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think God is there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, be humble, trust, and serve. I
Yeah.
think ang ganda nung flow
Mhm.
of the, let's call it an article. A
Pwede.
post.
Mahaba
Ano,
siya eh.
It's an article.
Ah.
How many paragraphs ba yan? Baka pa
Oh,
3 or 4.
seven. Seven.
Seriously,
Yeah.
okay, nice. Right, so yeah, be humble. And then the trust, I think that one is, okay, be humble kasi for me is para siyang sampal sa'yo minsan na parang,
Ah.
ay, baba ka muna konti, ganyan. Parang step out of yourself.
Yeah.
Be humble.
Yeah.
And then trust, it's something that starts within. If you decide that you trust the person, or you trust what's happening here, or you trust yourself to do the right thing, or to do the next right thing,
Okay.
and then it will eventually lead you to serve.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
ang ganda nung flow niya. Parang galing sa labas, pasok, process, and
Labas
then
ulit.
give a positive output, or a helpful, hopeful output. Okay, hindi na ako iiyak.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, sorry, I'm just so emotional because I
No, I
see
get it.
stories.
I get it.
Right, diba?
Yeah.
No, I'm not sorry pala, but yeah.
And personally, like for myself also, I have family in down south,
Oh, yeah.
like in the southern Tagalog area,
Oh.
and all of us are also worried, and definitely trying to do everything we can to ensure. I mean, because our relatives are adults, so they have their own prerogative and way of doing things. So we're just doing everything we can to ensure their safety. But at the same time, maybe the first thing. So one of the other first things, apart from what our friend has said, is we stop blaming, or stop trying to pinpoint the blame on somebody else, or at least stop. Parang for us, kasi that's one of the ways that we rationalize these things. Eh. But at a certain point, some of these things that we're pinpointing aren't really rational. Like there's no way of trying to like even comprehend this. And diba? Parang it's how you make sense of the world.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it? Who did this?
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, for example, well, okay, we know whose fault the war is, though. But okay, the focus isn't about whose fault it is, but rather what you can do about it.
Exactly.
Diba? So that's why it's a nice article or post, because
Yeah, like don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. The things that you can control nga tama.
yeah. Diba? So we focus less on what it is, or how this came to be, and instead focus on our actions. So syempre this is like a divisive perspective, because what about the people who are directly affected by this?
Okay.
Diba? So for them, like, okay, so here's the caveat. There is no need. Like, being positive isn't a need. It'd be nice, but it's not a need. But what is necessary is for you to take control of what you can do to ensure that you keep yourself safe, or that you are able to meet the things that you need. And the good thing is, or the great thing about all of this is, we see that people are coming together really to push the aid here. But of course there are also some people who are not so focused on. I saw a tweet I think the other day na parang we will do everything we can to provide aid to Batangas, but or low-key what he was saying, this person, low-key what he was saying was, but just saying Batangas is home to one of the major drug lords.
Okay.
Just saying. So parang ako, I think you get who this person was. He's up there. Yeah. So parang like I was like, seriously, parang focus on the aid. I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's a negative aspect to this, and that's there,
Yeah.
and there's nothing that you can do about the direct thing, but
Yeah.
there's something that you can do to to aid in it.
Yeah.
So
At saka
that's
kahit
one thing.
sabihin mo pa na sabihin natin ang nangyaring trahedya, sabihin natin ay nasa prison. I mean, come on. We have I think we have a higher obligation or a moral obligation to, do what we can to help preserve life. And
Yeah.
hindi mo na pipiliin yun. Parang ano ba, selective goodness ba to?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, good is good, right?
Yeah. So this guy talaga, like,
This guy.
my God, I hate. I don't hate.
But it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
what you're feeling.
yeah.
I respect that.
One of the ironies that I feel, so in line lang with the whole blame thing, one of the ironies that I think is that that on the one hand, God is a personal God. Seeks to have a relationship with you personally, but at the same time, a lot of things that He does or allows to happen or whatever isn't personal, because that's the temptation, na parang some people might take this personally against themselves, na parang why are you doing this to me, but it's not,
Yeah, I see it as an opportunity actually.
to
Yeah. To do something, to do good, an opportunity or a chance to serve. I mean, for me, it's a gift. I'd like to see it as a gift, and every time that you have someone kunyari, hurting you, it's an opportunity for you to exercise forgiveness. So I guess I think, I don't know if you can spin it somehow, na you won't respond to it with such heaviness or anger or what. Yeah, I mean, these are valid feelings.
Sure.
But how can you spin it so that it won't eat you up?
Yeah. Parang the way I kind of am processing that in my head is that, you're free to express your feelings about everything that's going on, but at the same time be mindful of others, because this is like it's a global thing. Sorry, I mean global in the sense that it affects more than just you. So you're free, or you have the right to express yourself emotionally, but at the same time be mindful of how what it is that you're saying or what it is that you're posting is affecting other people. Diba? Because again, similar to what the friend has said, it's not just about you.
Yeah.
So wala
But
na.
it can be up to you.
Yes. Yeah. So in line with again the topic or the theme of today's show about sustaining or maintaining positivity in the midst of calamity.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was thinking about when we were thinking about talking about this today was I don't think it's a silver lining kind of strategy. It's more of like looking at it as a whole, not even long term, not even having to think about what's happened in the past, but just thinking about it as a whole. That's why I'm a big fan of mindfulness in general, because mindfulness isn't an invitation to distract yourself from all of your negative thoughts and negative feelings, but rather it's an invitation to just look at everything as a whole. Like, see your problem for sure that it's a problem and it causes you like consequent negative emotions or negative thoughts, but at the same time, what are these negative thoughts and negative emotions trying to tell you? So in the same way, in this disaster, yes, there's this problem. Yes, there are people who might be displaced. Yes, there might be a whole economy or like a local economy that might go down. Yes, true, fact. Not disregarding that. But at the same time, what is happening here in terms of also, pwede din, like, what can you do about it? So yes, it's happening. What can you do about it? How is it's affecting you emotionally? Okay, what can you do about your emotions, and at the same time, what can you do to help? So that's looking at it like as a whole picture. I was also thinking about, so pwede say it, sasabihin natin long term. I was also thinking about parang it's crazy, or I have this crazy image in my head na parang when Taal eventually does, go the full way.
Yeah.
I feel like the entire landscape, like the geographical landscape of at least the southern area, is gonna change in a major way. In terms of, well, the ash yields more fertile soil, for one. Another thing is, it might change like how it looks, because it might break away that whole mountainside and bring the ocean
lake
closer.
is already dried up na rin yan.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking about all of these things and all of these consequences. And one of the things that I'm super glad about, as of now, or at least as everything's happening, is that there have been no casualties, at least none reported.
Well,
Tama ba?
we have, I think there are 3 volunteers
Okay.
who went to the site, and then I think they were on their way home. These are like 3, let's say, millennials.
Okay.
Yeah, and then parang they hit a truck or something.
Okay.
Tapos then 2 died on the spot.
Okay.
And then the other one was still rushed to the hospital
Okay.
and then eventually
Okay.
passed.
Yeah.
So
okay.
we have those people. I'm not sure pa dun sa site mismo,
Yeah.
but these are like volunteers. They
Yeah.
weren't even supposed to be there, but they
Yeah.
chose to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yun nga, parang based on the news that I was reading like a couple of days ago, especially in the heat, or in the heat of all of these things, I was reading like in the past when. So I was reading, or I was watching, because this like educational like cartoon or whatever about the scale of measurement of how bad an eruption is, and the last major eruption is like VEI 7 or something, which is like volcanic blah 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 intensity. Was in Indonesia in the 1800s yata or something, which killed a lot, like 15,000 people. And then the next one was in Pinatubo yata, and and that happened and stuff. And thus far, we're taking all of the necessary precautions to keep people safe, diba? So there's that.
Yeah.
So
Yay, humanity.
wala lang.
Yay, humanity. Nag-text si Lester. Hi, Lester. Naiyak daw siya.
Oh, okay.
Same, man. Same.
Same.
And we'd like to say hello to Kirk. I know.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, Kirk is also doing may effort din sila to help out.
Yeah.
And then hello Tita Kathy. Hello Abby. And hello Justin. Hello Gab, who's also with us.
Oh yeah, shout out lang to the people who are in the booth with us right now. Nandito si Gab, the host of the music class. He's here. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Okay. He's saying hi. Justin's here, our producer also. Hey guys. Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Bakit si Kirk? Ba't niya tayo kinukuyat, ate? Mas matanda pa tong si Kirk.
Kuya Kirk. Hindi, actually,
Kirk, what's up, man?
Ako kay Kirk. Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, naalala ko pa yung Pinatubo eh.
Talaga?
Yeah.
Oh, hindi. 3 months old pala.
Okay, fine. Ganun siya. Pero sobrang briefly lang nung time na yon, kasi I was just a kid.
I'm sure.
As in, tas parang I was, I think, playing with my crayons and the earth, yung sala namin, para siyang biglang para siyang gumagalaw mag-isa, and then parang in my head, I have powers.
Okay.
Yep. That was my childhood. I have powers, mom. Look. And then nagpanic na yung mom ko. Yeah, and then I think my mom was pregnant at the time with my sister. And then dad was out. Parang nandun lang kami. I can hear my mom like praying the Our Father, the Lord's Prayer. So, like paulit-ulit. And because she was crying.
Yeah.
And then parang, okay, I'm gonna cry na. No, pero seriously talaga, sabi ko, shoot, I have powers.
Yeah.
Sabi ko pa, thank you Lord for my powers.
Pati ka pa may powers.
I was such a weird kid. Pero it turns out na parang, the powers, I think yung powers ko nun was keeping my mom calm. I think.
Yeah.
times na she had someone na she could hug
Yeah.
and pray with.
Yeah.
Kahit na umiiyak lang talaga ako.
Yeah.
She started crying. Pero I think I can just imagine like yung mga nandun na rin sa site, di ba?
Mhm.
So yeah, we would like to like dedicate a prayer maybe. Siguro we'll end the show maya-maya with a song.
Yeah.
With the 8 na lang. No, yan.
Yeah.
And,
I also have a prayer then, so
Sige, go ahead.
Later.
For those who are watching us on Facebook, we have like an inset here for cash and in-kind donations. So Ateneo calls for cash and in-kind donations for the victims of the Taal volcano eruption. I'm just going to read it for those who are tuning in the radio. In addition to our partnership with De La Salle Lipa, we also have partnered with Archdiocese of Lipa together with Simbahang Lingkod ng Bayan or SLB, Manila Observatory, and Tanging Yaman Foundation to reach out to more evacuees. Let us come together to help our affected brothers and sisters. So, do we have a page or an email that we were supposed to like tap? I think we can just Ateneo Dream Team. So it's facebook.com. Okay.
okay.
Okay, so just go ahead and use your search powers, guys.
Yeah.
Just hit search and
We can link it on the comments.
yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Hanapin na lang natin. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying you had
Oh, yeah. No, later pa yan.
Okay, sige.
I was just thinking, I lost my train of
I'm
thought.
so sorry.
That's okay. No, I was saying, at the risk of sounding insensitive, the whole Pinatubo or the season of Pinatubo is also a testimony to what we are capable of, or what the Lord is capable of. In our lives. We moved forward from that. And again, like I said, at the risk of sounding insensitive, because of course I know people are suffering currently, and it's too soon, or not even soon at all, because it's happening right now, to to put things in perspective. So I get that too, but it's a message or an invitation of hope that we will move forward, that we will rebuild, that we will face this together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like all things, lilipas din to.
Yeah. This too shall pass. No, I was just kind of like thinking about it, because I remember what we were talking about last Friday, in terms of like, if you look back on 10 years ago, or
Right.
yourself 10 years ago, and
Right.
see how much you've kind of grown from that point. And there were certain points in your life where you were thinking na parang, "Oh, this is so hard, this is impossible, I can't get through this," and yet here you are still. So we will always be there, or we will always move through this. Okay.
Okay.
I invite everybody to pray. So in a inclusive kind of way, I will just do the sign of the cross privately. So
Okay. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Lord, first of all, we pray for all of those affected by the volcano eruption. We pray for your comfort and strength for each of them. We also pray for protection for people who are in harm's way. Lord, we declare that we trust in you, that we cannot control much of this universe, nor do we understand why calamities have to happen. But in humility, we declare that we are not God, that you are God, and that these calamities and all of our problems will not have the last say, because you will have the last say, and it will be good. We follow you, and we live for you, and we serve you and serve your people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you for that beautiful prayer, Patrick.
Sure. I thank my friend too.
Oh yeah. And thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yeah.
I know it's a slow and slow week for all of us, but yeah,
Yeah.
our hearts and our prayers go to you guys. We'll see each other next week.
Yep. So our invitation for you guys, as we sign off, is trust and serve. So this
Be
is
humble.
and be humble.
Yeah, be
So,
humble.
but you can't actually but
trust
yeah.
and serve.
Yun. So has been Mind Ed, your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits. My name is Pat.
And this is B. See you next week. Happy weekend, guys.
Happy weekend.
isa. Sasamahan kita saan man magpunta. Ika'y mahalaga sa aking mga mata. Minamahal kita. Minamahal kita. Tinawag kita sa iyong pangalan. Ikaw ay akin magpakailanman. Ako ang Panginoon mo at Diyos, tagapagligtas mo at tagatubos. Huwag kang mangamba, di ka nag-isa. Sasamahan kita saan man magpunta. Ika'y mahalaga sa aking mga mata. Minamahal kita. Minamahal kita. Sa tubig kita'y sasagipin, sa apoy ililigtas man din. Ako ang Panginoon mo at Diyos, tagapagligtas mo at tagatubos. Huwag kang mangamba, di ka nag-isa. Sasamahan kita saan man magpunta. Ika'y mahalaga sa aking mga mata. Minamahal kita. Minamahal kita.
The Ateneo is calling for cash and in-kind donations for the victims of the Taal volcano eruption. In-kind donations of ready-to-eat food like coffee and biscuits, rice, first aid medicines, and 95 masks, bottled water, sanitary napkins and baby diapers, fresh underwear and toiletries like towels, mats, and blankets, and used or new clothing can be dropped off at the Richie Fernando Howard Courts of the Ateneo de Manila University from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. from January 16 to 22, 2020. Cash donations can be made at any cashier office inside the Katipunan, Rockwell, and Ortigas campuses, via Metrobank branches through bills payment, or enrolling your Ateneo Dream Team as a merchant through your BPI online banking. For your dollar donations, you may also send your wire transfers to Ateneo's China Bank US dollar savings account. For further details and instructions, please check their Facebook account at facebook.com/Ateneo Dream Team. This initiative is in cooperation with the Manila Observatory, the Simbahang Lingkod ng Bayan, and the Tanging Yaman Foundation in partnership with the De La Salle Lipa and the Archdiocese of Lipa. Let us all come together to help our affected brothers and sisters in need.
Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B. Here on Mind Ed.
Sa'yo